Here is why people don't like your singing or your music.
Speaking of half singing, though, I do want to say this. I can really sing, right? I know that I can. I'm not asking y'all's opinion. I can. I don't.
I like that.
On purpose. Even with the way that I sing and the runs that I choose, it's lazy.
There is a time, place, and a space for everything. If you are singing a certain style of music, like gospel, or you're singing in a big space without a microphone, something like this would be acceptable. As long as we make up after every fight, when it's over. If you are singing in a smaller space, or if you're singing in the studio, something more like this would be acceptable. Hey, we started at the end. Another second chance to fuck it up again. I know I'm good alone. Now, I'm changing the context a little bit of what Money Long was talking about, but the action is still the same. You have to know how to do both. Sometimes, like Money Long said, it's a choice. This is why a lot of people have a hard time when it comes to either singing live versus singing in a studio. Stylistically, or depending on the space you're in, how close in proximity you are to a person might affect the volume or the effort and the musculature that you sing with. Or if someone's like, I just want to hear you sing, and you're giving them cathedral sound, it's going to be like, oh, like you're yelling in my ear. But then there's also a scientific reason of why sometimes a louder sound or a lighter sound might work or might not work. If you have a lot of low instrumentation, higher frequencies will sound more pleasant and be brought out more. So if someone is singing with a lot of bass, or like Ariana Grande would sing with a lot of trap sounds, and she also uses a lot of strings in her instrumentation, so she can either blend with the overtones of the higher things like violins and stuff like that. But a lot of times when you have trap beats or bass under the sound, higher overtones sound better. And if you're going to be belting, you want to have more full instrumentation. Thicker tracks or thicker instrumentation sound better with thicker vocals. If you're not using a lot of instrumentation or you're singing with a track, it's going to sound like too much. This is why if you are mixing music for music production, then you will notice, okay, well, if I'm doing this with the bass, I might want to take the low end out of the vocal. Or if I'm doing this with the track, then, there's too much high end, then I want to make sure that I add high end to this to bring the vocal out. Like, there are scientific reasons as far as frequency and pitch as to why these things attract someone's ear. So Money Long was talking about something completely different when it comes to the reason why she does this. But there's also a benefit to knowing what she's talking about. So there is a time to half sing, and there is a time to go full out.